everybody. Those are the business. So I know that the governor will control this project because he elected him and people are part of it. Thank you very much.
Anyway, that's just some of the faces. Then Ibas himself, of course, he left last night. There's a clip for that.
Yes, clear. Yes, clear. What else? Yeah, give me.
If you remember 6 months ago when he came to the state, he was led to the state by the soldiers, the military. And that's the same kind of ending they had to shoot to. And that is pretty much like that's the end you're going to see of him. You won't see him again. And he can go on and enjoy his own loot, illegally acquired wealth. God just bless him, they will say. Once he gets back to his state, he's going to go and do a Thanksgiving. You see his wife, she's the most happiest. Ibas is like, the military, pretending to be looking like down, like you sure you get. But the woman, she knows, say, man, we've had our own fear of the national cake. And they probably won't forget it. No, they can't. They can't even forget it, can they? But the Rivers people, well, so Fubara showed up. He is believed to be in this vehicle that arrived at the government house later this evening or afternoon, rather.
The
Anyway, sorry about that. I'm trying to put something up as well because Wike was on their TV this evening. But prior to that, he was in Abuja. Give me a sec. So Fubara showed up, I believe, and that is aim back in office, and there's not been so much, heard from him. But with a Wike, we have heard from him. First, upon his return from London, where he was said to, to have received some medical care or what have you, he denied that, and he said his enemies were at work. His enemies were the ones who were spreading the rumor that he was ill or he was unwell or he was fine. Then later this evening, when he was with Sheung talking about this state of emergency, he's already reacting enough to kind of like show to you the role he played and, the role he can still play as well. So with a Wike, we could have allowed the state of emergency to continue because I heard some people talking. What were they saying? Wike?
Happening in Nigeria. I must commend Mr. President for lifting the emergency rule in Rivers. So many people have become senior advocates because of the emergency rule. So many people became constitutional experts because of this emergency rule. So many people have become policy analysts because of the so-called emergency rule. For me, and I believe the majority of Rivers people are happy with what Mr. President has done. And what did he do? What was the basis of declaring a state of emergency? The basis of declaring a state of emergency was that one, you remember that the Supreme Court said there was no governance or there was no government in Rivers. Because as at that time, it was only one arm of government that was functioning, being the executive, as if it was functioning. The legislature was not in existence. Again, at the local government level, the Supreme Court set aside the purported election that was held, that it was not in consonance with the law. I remember before now, Supreme Court had already said, look, you cannot have a caretaker committee in the local government because by Section 7 of the Nigerian Constitution just amended guarantees the existence of local government. And therefore, if there is no local government, they cannot derive funding for the federation account. And Mr. President also said so many other things that culminated to the fact that, look, if we don't take these actions, then there is a serious crisis. For me, I will want to appreciate and thank Mr. President for taking that book step. And again, remember, the governor also came out to say, look, but for Mr. President's intervention, it would have been a different thing by now, it would have been a different ballgame.
But you were not happy that time.
Yeah,
You wanted the government
as a politician,
Yeah.
as a politician, yes. But again, for the interest of the state, I mean, Mr. President is my boss. He looks at it. Forget about yes, you're working with me. Forget about yes, the governor may have infringed or may have violated certain provisions of the law that is impeachable, committed impeachable offense. We want peace. And the only way we can bring peace is a look. Let us declare a state of emergency and then see how things can stabilize. And of course, that led to the meetings of my humble self, the governor, the assembly, the National Assembly, and other key stakeholders, which we all met and agreed on how to move forward. And to the glory of God, as I speak to you, peace returned. As I speak to you, as at yesterday, I spoke with the governor.
Oh, you called, or he called you, or you called him?
It doesn't matter who called, but what is important is that we spoke. We spoke. We spoke yesterday, and he told me, and I told him I was leaving that night to come back, and he told me he was leaving this morning. So I can tell you, we believe by the grace of God, peace has come. And look at what the Assembly did today to set the tone. You can see peace, you can see, look, we are prepared for the interests of the state. Let's move forward. The only thing I can always say, I was watching on television today, is that there are people who are natural crisis builders, who think that they can only benefit when there's crisis. If, for us, for example, if we don't want this state of emergency to be lifted, we would have done one or two things to make sure that, no, let the state of emergency continue. No, for the interest of the state. I've been discussing with the government happening in Nigeria.
Wike. So Thiefnubu has given him what he wanted. And some people who want the crisis to continue, probably those who are saying the state of emergency is illegal and it is a dent on your democracy and all that. We came mad, gone. Because you know what happened after that? I mean, before that. Okay, before we even go to that, let's take his further statement on Fubara on this matter. And we're going to go to Abuja after that. Or, sorry, we're going to go back to what he said in Abuja. Where he said Thiefnubu should have assassinated Sowore. Or Sowore calling Thiefnubu a criminal. We'll come back to that. Fubara.
If, for us, for example, if we don't want this state of emergency to be lifted, we would have done one or two things to make sure that, no, let the state of emergency continue. No, for the interest of the state. I've been discussing with the governor, we've been talking from time to time, and he has assured me, look, we can't go back now. This is what we have told Mr. President, and Mr. President has taken enough time, energy to say, look, he wants the state to be stabilized. And for me, anything that has to bring peace, I'm for it.
Have you forgiven Governor Fubara?
I told you we have been speaking. I don't speak to a man I've not forgiven. I don't play this kind of game.
You've left the past now, and you're focused on the future.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is I'm not a politician that says one thing here, I do a different thing tomorrow. If I tell you we're quarreling. So if I say everything is over, it's over. It's not left for you, for me. And all our team, we're all like, look, you heard what Mr. Speaker said. Look, we have to move forward. Mr. Governor, send a list of commissioners. Let the state move forward. But all we are saying is, there are people who don't like peace. I was watching people today, the way they twist the law upside down. You were hearing when people were saying illegality of conducting local government election. This, ask them, what did they do? What did they do to make sure that illegality does not stand? But they come out and begin, when you see them pontificating, when you see them shouting, you think that there's something they can do. Nothing, just to cause crisis. And when enough said, enough is enough. President has done quite a lot for us. Peace has come. The democratic governance and the local government, okay, assuming there was no local government election. So, assuming there was no local government election. And this emergency rule was lifted. And they cannot access funds on the federation account. What will happen at the local government level? Crisis. Workers will not be paid. Schools will not go on. Hospitals will not go on. So people should look at these things very well, not just what you think. And for Christ's sake, look at the matter. The court did not stop the election. The court said, no, you can't. Because they have no local standard. Even if you have, you're out of time. They just shout and go to television and shout. I don't believe that. I believe that, look, if you love this state, If you believe for the interest of our nation, that look, this democracy must stabilize for us to move on. You cannot, there's nothing big for sacrifice. I am the one that goes, okay, Sheung, to hell, let it be crisis. So what? So what? What? If
Did you hear that? There is the one that could say, no, let the crisis continue because he is the one that Fubara offended. Now he's let go. Why are these people going on TV, turning the law upside down by calling it illegality? Sole administrator conducted local government elections. Sole administrator got over 1.5 trillion naira budget passed. And sole administrator have been receiving tens of billions of money, including loans. So who is going to probe the 6 months of the sole administrator? Or shouldn't it be probed of how the money that got into Rivers State in that 6 months? You know, say we'll go find out, yeah? We will find out soon. How much money entered Rivers State in 6 months? How much of that money went into payment of salaries and what have you? And how much of that money is unaccounted for? And how much is it in total? We're going to see that. We're going to hear that soon. But who went to court that stopped the local government funds from being given to them after they lost out the control of the local government? Let me give you a bit of a background, just quickly, right? So prior to the state of emergency, prior to Fubara conducting local government elections, right? When Wike was leaving as governor, more than 70% of those who were with him, for example, 100% of those who were the local government chairmen, vice chairmen, councillors, 100% of them, the day Wike was leaving, 100% of them remained. Do you get that now? And simply because they were elected, of course, so they remained. Over 70% of Wike's appointees across board, including commissioners, they remained with Fubara. So that's how much